All right. We're live.
Perfect.
Got a 10-game slate today. Got Zach with me.
What up?
We're going to be going game by game today. Giving you our first look. We'll give everybody
Yeah, just
a few
gonna try
minutes to
and
get in here.
speed up this process a little bit. We don't have a lot of news, so there's not a lot to talk about, but we'll touch on each game real quick.
Put this in the channel. We're live.
Yeah, make sure they can freaking hear me.
Yeah, just in case.
Ridiculous.
Should be good.
And yeah, make sure you guys can hear Zach. Yeah, there's just not a lot of. Just gotta wait on all this news. There's nothing that I'm like. There's only a couple plays I'm seeing that are gonna be like chalky right now. Obviously, that can change, but
Yeah,
some
what's
interesting plays.
what's the value that
Some
you're seeing
interesting
so
people.
far?
Potentially Teague if he starts because no Pritchard, no Kimba, but Tatum is back, so I don't know if he starts. DeLon Wright, Derrick Rose is still out, so is Killian Hayes, but he's 5,500. Isaiah Roby's 4,600, still without. Horford and against Portland, and then it's just like say we get nothing for value, you could play Cody Zeller at 3,300 even coming off the bench. He can just get you maybe 15 points. Like it's just like that's what we're looking at. We don't have any clear cut value, so
Yeah, I'm sure that'll open up as we go on. All right, so we've got they hear you, Zach, so we're good.
Cool.
We've got some viewers. Let's go ahead and start. First game, we've got the Hornets going against the Magic. 214 total, and the Magic's favored by 1.5. So, all right, what are we looking at for this game?
So, I mean, everybody's playing in this game. James Ennis could be out, so that
does that even really
we're not
matter?
gonna get like. I mean, Aaron Gordon being probable, like he's a decent play at his price tags, but like I don't really care about this game. Gordon Hayward is fuck you, Gordon Hayward.
Yep.
Has balled out the last two games, but I'm just not. He's 7,300. Like I'm. If he's your last piece, fine, go with it. But like, I'm not gonna make an effort to get there. No one else in this game I care about at all. It's pretty much just a pass over for me. Like Vucevic is always a good play when he's under 9K. I don't know what he is on FanDuel.
He's 94.
94, still fine play. Like he's just a fine play in those spots. Like this is again a good matchup for him. So no problem with that. That's all I have from that game.
Just no really players from this game.
Nah, not right. I mean Vucevic and Gordon are fine. Hayward's, fine, but that's about
Gordon's priced up. He's 79 on
FanDuel. Zeller is a fine value if we get nothing else. But with everybody with Cole Anthony, Fournier, Gordon, and Vucevic all playing, I don't really care.
Yeah, I gotcha. This is one of the lower 10 totals. Games. Yeah, this is the second lowest total on the slate. So, all right, let's move on. We don't really have anything here. We got the 76ers taking on the Pistons. 76ers favored by 6.5 points. Over/under is 217. Another lower total. We got any injury news here?
Yeah, Embiid's questionable with this back problem that he's been having. He's played through it. If he sits, just play Dwight Howard. And then Ben Simmons is good price tag. So is Tobias Harris. But if Joel Embiid plays, this is just a gloss over spot for me. I don't want any Sixers. I'm more inclined to go to the Pistons. The Pistons don't have Derrick Rose. Blake Griffin is back, so you can play DeLon Wright. And really on the Pistons side, that's all I really care about too. This team runs like a 15-man rotation. Like DeLon Wright is even pushing it of who I would want to play, but he's a good play. Pay for Wayne Ellington now when he's been shooting like 60% from 3-point range because that's all he does.
That's gonna come down.
No, he's gonna come back down to earth and score you 10 points, and I'm not doing that. And so there's really nothing else here that I want at all. I mean, Jeremy Grant, you can always play. I think he's a little bit better of a play without Blake Griffin. I mean, this dude had some foul trouble last game and shot 3 for 19 and still scored you 32.75. So there's definitely room for him to get better. I will say he's a better play without Embiid because it gives him more shots in the paint with Embiid not around him. I'm not saying Embiid's guarding him, but Embiid is always kind of there in the paint. So he's a better play if Embiid's out as well. So
I also think that Plumlee is an okay value play if Embiid's out. He's 4,400 on FanDuel.
If Embiid is out, but then you're fading Dwight Howard. Plumlee's a good play on DraftKings, but then again, you're fading Howard because I'm playing Bam everywhere. Again, so you're gonna have to if Howard's out, you're gonna have to pick between Howard and Plumlee on DraftKings as your other center, because Bam's one of your centers.
Yeah.
So, but we'll get to that later. Plumlee is a good play. He's fouled out a lot in the recent games, but without Embiid, it definitely improves his matchup. So I'm fine with that. Besides that, nothing else from that game for me.
All right, cool. Let's move on. This one, that was 2 games, done and done. So then we've got the Raptors taking on the Pacers. Close game. Pacers favored by 2 points. Over under 217.5 on FanDuel. All right.
So the Pacers being favored by 2.5. Like the Raptors are surprisingly not that good of a team this year. I think it's because the competition they played. They beat bad teams, but then they've had these close games against good teams and lost. I think they're much better than their record is, but the Pacers being favorited on a back-to-back with only Sabonis and Brogdon really for the team leads me to believe that Lowry and or Siakam is going to sit again. I think Lowry's definitely going to sit again because it's not just a foot injury. He has like a toe infection and he's had injections for it. I doubt that is cleared up overnight when he sat yesterday. I would imagine they're going to let him sit again. So Van Vliet, you can obviously play. You play Norman Powell's a really good play on DraftKings. I don't know his prices on FanDuel.
56.
He's a fine play on both sites. Then
he's
nothing that I'm like forcing myself to get to because he's 52 and 56. But like decent play, he can get you 30. He did it the other day. He's probably just a play on both sides if Lowry's out. If Siakam's out, I don't really know what to do. They're kind of throwing everybody at that 4 and 5. Favorite play probably if Siakam is out, like of the forwards and centers, it's probably OG Anunoby. Boucher only got 21 minutes last game. I don't think that they're going to want to throw him out. If they didn't want to throw him out last game, why are they going to want to throw him out against Miles Turner and Sabonis again? I think with the games we're going to see Boucher get more minutes is when they're facing like Wendell Carter Jr., a Jared Allen, or like stuff like not a real traditional center. They're not going to throw him out against Embiid and Anthony Davis and Sabonis and Turner and stuff like that. They're just not going. They're not going to, and they've shown that. If Siakam's out, I think OG Anunoby is a really good play on both sides. I don't even know his price, but he's probably just a fine play.
62.
62 on FanDuel's a really good play. 69, I take it back. On 69 on DraftKings, just avoid that. 62 on FanDuel's a really good play. He's probably small forward, right?
He is small forward, and his game fits FanDuel more than DraftKings.
Well, yeah, steals and blocks, but it's just small forward's a shitty position too. But I'm not paying for 6,900 for him on DraftKings at all.
All right, let me ask you this: Opto nerds are gonna be playing Stanley Johnson. He's 3,500 at small forward.
So he's 3,500 on FanDuel. He's 38 on DraftKings. So again, if we get no value for the slate, he's a fine play. I like him over like Cody Zeller and stuff like that.
For sure.
He's gonna be a fun play. It's just what do we get on this slate? I mean, you may not need him, but if this is the only say Embiid plays, say all these other people play, and there's no breaking news, no one crazy sits, nothing like that, then yeah, Stanley Johnson's gonna be what you have to use to get in some of these people that are guaranteed points.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't mind Stanley Johnson at all.
He did get 30 minutes yesterday. But
he had 4 fouls too. Like there's paths for him to get more minutes. He's played in games before in these injuries, so it's not like this is a person they're kind of like see what they can get out of him. They played him some last year too, so I mean, at the end of the day, Stanley Johnson was a first-round pick. There was a reasoning that he could be good in the league, and he's had flashes of upside, but then he like just goes back to being Stanley Johnson. So, but yeah, he's a fun play if Siakam and Lowry are out.
Got it. All right,
I don't want anything
Turner's
from Indiana.
Still playing good with his broken hand. Isn't that crazy?
Talking about Turner?
Yeah, he's a broken hand, fractured hand. He's still playing well.
I don't know ever what to do with Miles Turner. This dude befuddles me forever. If I play him, he'll get 20 points. If I don't play him, he'll get 50. It's like Gordon Hayward. I only play him when Sabonis is out. But I mean, this is something to watch. Actually, it's not something to watch. It's something to attack in GVP right now because people see 7,400 Turner and they're like, Yeah, not really. This is something to play in tournaments because you're going to get low ownership from him. And this really could be a product of having no Oladipo, and he's getting more shots. And I mean, he's going to have a high percent of shots made regardless because he's a center. So you see him at 66%, 65. Weird game against Portland where he had a bad game. Then 63. Like him having 60+% shooting percentage is normal for centers. Like some centers averaging like 70%. So that's nothing crazy. He just shoots more threes. So he has block upside for sure. And with them not having a true center, it's a good matchup for him. This isn't like a center matchup that I avoided for the last couple of years with Gasol and Ibaka. This is Aaron Baines, and Chris Boucher is a decent defense. He gets defensive stats, but I don't know how good he is on the defensive end. Siakam's fine too, but yeah, Turner's a good GPP play if Siakam's out. If Siakam's in, I just want to avoid that whole area of. I just want if Siakam and Lowry are in, I'm avoiding this entire game. Like, I mean, there's nothing that I want in this. Obviously, if Lowry's out, you can play Van Vliet as well, but that's all I have.
Okay, cool. All right, I don't have anything else either. We pretty much covered it. I'm not playing Lamb. Not getting enough minutes. He's 5,200. Dougie McBuckets is okay. Probably just not going to get there. And actually, T.J. McConnell's not doing bad for 4,400.
Yeah, he's not. And I'll say real quick that Lamb is an okay play on DraftKings again if we get nothing else of value.
Okay. All right, let's move on. 1 second here. All right, we've got the Heat taking on the Nets. Nets are favored 7.5 points. Over under is the highest on the slate at 235.5.
Yeah, the Nets don't play defense. The center matchup for the millionth year in a row is play centers against Brooklyn. This is no different. I don't know how the hell Bam was 80% on FanDuel and sub like 15% on DraftKings the other day when we had Bam. No idea, but Bam scored 60. I play centers against Brooklyn. If it's a good center, I play centers against Brooklyn, and I will do it every single time.
Who is Brooklyn?
Play Bam again. Bam's going to be chalky today because people are like, oh, I didn't play him last time. He scored 62 and he's the same price. So Bam's going to be super chalky on DraftKings today when we got him at 10% the other day because people are stupid. Play Bam again on both sites. Just play him. What is he on FanDuel? Is he 9K? I don't care. Play him.
9,600 power forward.
I really don't care. I'm probably going to play him. I'd prefer him over Anthony Davis. Definitely prefer him over Tatum coming back. Prefer him over Sabonis. I prefer him over all these people. Like Chris Boucher is the next person I really want to get to at 65. And that's if Siakam's out. Besides that, I mean, like, you're probably going to pay down. You're probably going to go to Darius Baisley at 4,700, Isaiah Roby at 4,500. You're going to go to one of those people down there. So Thaddeus Young, like, how much is Gafford? 3,500. He's probably going to start at center again, even though he sucked. Like, he's still 3,500. Like, matchup's not good for him, but I mean, I'm not going to play Gafford most likely, but I think we got our one shot at him, and he did good, and I kind of just get off that. But
what's up, Bagwell?
That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about
super lock, tragic? Yeah, really, this Miami and Brooklyn game, unless we get other value, I don't really care about it. Like, I'm not paying over 10K for Durant or Harden on DraftKings without. So Kyrie's the only one of the big three that I would want to play at 9K. He's priced like he should be. Like, Durant and Harden should be like 95 and Kyrie should be like 85. I'd rather just pay 9K for Kyrie if I'm going to pay for one of the three. Kyrie's still getting up 20-plus shots a game. Like, he's still getting assists and rebounds. Like, Harden has said it's nice to not have to shoot all the time. Harden is perfectly fine
being the facilitator,
assisting and rebounding, and being a facilitator.
Exactly.
Kyrie's still fine going out there and chucking fucking shots. So Kyrie's the one of the three that I want to play. Kevin Durant is still Kevin Durant doing really good. Again, he's over 10K, and on the slate, it's going to be really hard to get to multiple people over 10K or even one, and it's not going to be Durant for me. Like, Steph Curry at 9,200 against Minnesota, we'll get to. Like, that's a better play than Durant or Harden or Irving. Like, I'm not paying 6Ks for Duncan Robinson, Dragic, or Olynyk. Dragic's a fine play, but he hasn't done enough. Nunn's now at 6,100, pass. Like, none of these people are anywhere that I want to be at. Unless someone is out from this game that isn't right now, it's a pass besides Bam.
Yeah. I love Kyrie. I like his price tag on FanDuel, 9,400. Him and Lillard are popping. I like him a lot. I don't see anybody else, really, from this game at all. So
See, I'd rather just go to Steph Curry at 9,600 though against Minnesota. I'd rather pay the 200 more.
yeah,
So, yeah, I mean Lillard's a good play
I think
still.
all three of those
And
guys
see,
are pretty close.
this is the thing. We don't know anything about Ben Simmons. Like if Embiid is out, then I'm playing Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is a triple double threat every single time Embiid's off the court. So he's an automatic like lock and load for me when Embiid's out, and I've done that for however many years these two have been together now. Like every single time. Does not matter. I will do that. If Simmons out, I play Embiid. If Embiid's out, I play Simmons every single time. There's too much usage between those two people to ignore. Just like last night. Like even though Herter bucked us last night, which I mean we still cashed, but like
still crushed.
It's if Herter has a normal game, just get you 27, then it's an easy cash. Instead we had to sweat a little bit. Like it's just there's too much usage with certain people out. Like Trae Young being out, I'm going to look at who the facilitator is going to be. Rondo, Herter, done. Like it's and then like that's all it is. But that's all I have from Miami, Brooklyn.
All right, cool. Let me see if I've got anything else. Nope. I think we're good to go. All right, so next up we've got Lakers taking on the Cavs. We got the LeBron revenge game. Lakers favorite 10.5 points. Over under is the lowest on the slate, 213.5. All right, what do you got from this game, Zach?
I'm gonna just go ahead and say D'Angelo Russell unlikely to play Monday, so we'll talk about that when we get to Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
But what do you say?
I said, wow. Okay, is that breaking or did I miss that?
No, he was already questionable with a quad. Okay. He quote unquote rested last game, but
yep.
Yeah, but so we know Larry Nance is going to be out. I have no idea who starts for him. I don't know if they move Cedi Osman down to the 4. I don't know if they try and start Lance Stevens. I have no idea. If Lance Stevens starts at the 4, or Dean Wade starts at the 4, or whoever the hell they throw out at the 4 from Cleveland, if they're a minimal price on DraftKings. What'd you say?
It could be Jared Allen.
It could be Jared Allen.
I bet they do.
If Jared Allen starts, I hope they do. But like, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. And if it's Jared Allen, I definitely don't want to play Jared Allen. The only person I'm saying you can play is if they throw Dean Wade or Lance Stevens out into the is it Lance Stevens? Lamar Stevens, sorry. Lamar Stevens out into the 4. If they play one of those at the 4, then you can play one of those because they're minimum price on DraftKings. And they'll probably be the best value on the slate because there's no other value. And they open up everything else. So that's fine. And I'm glad we already got this news. We have no idea who's starting. If Jared Allen starts, avoid this whole entire freaking team. I don't want to play Jared Allen or Andre Drummond siphoning usage off each other against AD and Gasol. Screw that. And I don't want to play Sexton or Garland on who knows what minutes they're going to play in a tough matchup in a game that they're probably going to lose. The only person that I really want to play from this game is LeBron James and GPPs, and it's not because of a revenge narrative. It's just this game's in Cleveland. He's from Akron, Cleveland area. Right, area. It's just he may want to show out at his home court. Like there's no revenge because like this dude brought a championship to this
he's
this
not
city.
Mad. He's not
he,
mad
he has a whole school system that he funds in Cleveland. Like there's no revenge here. He loves being in Cleveland. It just may be it's like DeRozan. Every time he goes and plays LA, I like playing DeRozan at least in GBPs. And if he's good price in cash, because he's from LA, he loves LA. So every time he's in LA, I like playing DeRozan. It's just that's how it is. It's just like originally last night I wanted to play Carmelo Anthony on FanDuel because he's 4,100 because he's playing in New York. He's playing against the Knicks. Like and he worked out. I obviously pivoted from him, but some people didn't get the pivot, still cashed with him because he got 228. Yeah. It's just things like that. It's the revenge is one thing, and then just like love for where you played at is one thing too. LeBron James at 9,300. It's a really good price on DraftKings. But I don't know if he sees 30 minutes tonight. It's a GPP play that I would like to get to, and if he's your last piece in cash, if you get where you have 9,500 and LeBron James is the last piece, go for it. But I'm not going to build around him like I'm building around Bam.
For sure. I think the game blows out. I mean, they're already 10-point favorites. Garland's not playing well.
Higher.
I mean, Sexton can step up. He has a tough matchup. And we don't even know who's playing for Larry Nance. So, yeah, I think it's probably a blowout. Yep. And it's the lowest total on the slate. So you want to target high totals, close games.
Yep, it's just like a passover spot for me.
Oh, I do want to tell you something I heard. I heard that the Nets are interested in JaVale McGee. Did you see that?
Oh no, but I'm not surprised. I mean, they need another center. Like they need someone that can play defense.
Huh? They shouldn't have traded Allen.
Well, yeah, I mean, I mean that was just to get Harden. Apparently Jared Allen wasn't part of their future. I like Jared Allen, but he really doesn't play defense too much. He's a good offensive center, but he doesn't play a lot of defense. So
yeah,
I like the Nets play a lot of defense anyway. So I have no idea.
Jonas wants to know if we think Windler is a good punt on FanDuel, 3,500 shooting guard. He probably doesn't even see the.
I think he did play. Yeah, he played some minutes last game. Okay, so I will say no because that mean that we think this game's gonna be a blowout. Yes, and he got more minutes because they get lost by 40 or 38, excuse me, to Boston. So yeah, I mean, I don't like taking shots on these people for GPPs because it's a low percentage. Even though we think it's gonna be a blowout, if it's not a blowout, whatever lineups you have with him are dead. And then if it is a blowout, you've got that magical piece. Then everything else that you have with that magical piece has to be also correct for your GPP. Say you have 150 lineups, you have 10 of them with Windler. If each one of those lineups has one dead piece in it, it doesn't matter that you had this awesome call on Windler. Like it's things that I don't like doing. Very rarely, if you look at top lineups, if you look at them every single slate, I always look at what the optimal was. Could I have gotten there? Would I have ever gotten there? Most times I'm like, mostly like I would have had some of these pieces like in my 150 lineups. Very rarely do I see a person like Windler or a person that I just was like, why the fuck are they there? Like who? Never in a million years would I've gotten to this. Like very rarely do you see that one just magical piece in there. The only time that I can really think about that I know is when McLovin played fucking Lonnie Walker against Houston last year at when he had to have had the entire ownership share. He was like 0.4% owned. And I remember that like he posted on Twitter that he had 30% of him. If you go on that, like, and that's the stance that you have to make on some of these people. Like, if you want Windler, you have to be like, yo, look, this guy's going to get me 30 tonight, and I'm going to play him at 20 to 30% or something like that. I'm making a stand. And he made a stand on Lonnie Walker last year, and he won every single tournament. The dude was a teacher, quit his fucking job, and this was already a dude that was making a lot of money quit his fucking job. Like, won millions of dollars that night because he won every single tournament. Because he did that everywhere. But like, that's the only time that I've seen someone like do that and it really pay off. Most of the times you're just burning several lineups with stuff like that. So unless you're making a real stand on someone like this, then I would just say no.
Gotcha. Good insight.
And obviously McLovin had the bankroll for that shit. Most of us don't have the bankroll for that shit. I don't have the bankroll to just like a quarter contest stuff like that. Yeah, fine. Like the highest 150 entry I've ever done was an $8, and that was on the fucking COVID night when Gobert wanted to infect the entire league, and I had to get my money back. So that's the most I've ever done. I've done 6s and 4s and 2s and 50 cents, dollars, all that kind of stuff all the time. But most of us don't have that kind of money to like take that kind of shot. And I'm sure the rest of his 70% of lineups were super conservative and be like, look, I just need to get all these into cash if this fails. So that's something that you really have to just have a feeling about and go with it. And Windler is a decent shot, but no, not for me. So let's move on for that. We talked too much time about Windler, but yeah, fine, go for it.
All right, we got the Nuggets taking on the Mavericks. Nuggets are favored 1.5 points, and the over/under is 223. Close game here.
I don't care about anything from the Nuggets. Jamal Murray's 7,100.
Nothing.
Michael Porter Jr.'s back. The usage from this team's getting more and more spread out. I will say Jamal Murray at 7,100 is a good GPP play. I like him when he's around this price tag or a little bit lower. When he gets more up in the higher 7Ks, don't really like him. So, besides this, I've looked through this game, and none of the prices are great. Like, obviously you can play Jokic or Luka, but like, again, we don't have the value on the slate to do so. And Jokic, most likely, one of your center spots, you're already playing Bam, and then some of the good value we're getting is centers, and Howard potentially, or Mason Plumlee potentially, or even Cody Zeller if you want to go down there. Like, again, I'm not really pushing for Cody Zeller. I'm just saying right now, 3,300 is not a bad value play. Right now, Windler is not a bad value play at 3,200. So it's just like we just have to wait and see. So that's why we're trying to just push through these games because there's not a lot to talk about without knowing the value.
For sure.
Obviously, any stud on any game, you can play Harden, you can play Durant, you play any. I'm never going to tell you to not play a big time stud I'm never gonna tell you like, nah, don't play Giannis at all. Fade Giannis, fade Luka. No, you can always play these people. They're 10K for a reason. They're good players, but it's a tough slate to try and get to any of them.
It
so
is.
yeah, none of those.
I do want to talk about something. Will Barton is broke. This dude.
Yeah, fuck him. Don't play him.
Trash.
He's dead.
Do not play this dude. Monte Morris is getting more run than him anyway, so yeah.
Yep. And Michael Porter Jr.'s back.
Yep.
Barton was only an option. And I will say this: Barton eventually later in the season, or tomorrow, or today, or some other time, will have blow-up games. There's gonna be times where Barton flirts with a triple-double. People are in foul trouble. It doesn't matter. There's gonna be times when it happens. Don't ever chase his shit. He's dead. Don't do it.
Yeah. And then when we got Michael Porter Jr. back, we have noticed that Jamal Murray's usage went way down with Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, I mean he still scored 40-some points last game though. So Jamal Murray in the 6s to early 7s, I don't mind ever for GPPs. Dude has a legit ceiling.
Gotcha. How many minutes did Michael Porter play?
35.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
He's back. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I take it back. All right, nothing else. We good?
No, I'm not playing Michael Porter Jr. or anything. Yeah, that's fine.
I just
you can play Porter. You can play any of that game in GPs is fine. Like Porter Jr. Like without Dorian Finney-Smith, Dallas has been pretty bad against forwards, so fine, but not for cash.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, we can move on here. We've got Celtics taking on the Bulls. Celtics favor 4 points over under one of the higher ones, 227.
Surprised it's only 4 points. I was gonna think it was like 6 or 7. So
yeah, it might be
betting wise there. Betting wise, I don't mind taking Boston 4 points, but
should win this game with Tatum back.
Yeah, so Tatum's not going to play a full lot of minutes. I would really doubt. I bet he's going to play like 20 to 25. They're going to condition him up. What?
They've been really super conservative with their guys, the Celtics.
Well, yeah. So I mean, you're going to see him 20 to 25 a day, 20 to 28 next game, and then he'll be about back to normal after that. But no Kimba today, no Peyton Pritchard. Here's one of our decent values if he starts. I don't know what the starting lineup's going to be like. Jeff Teague is 3,700. He's the only true point guard on this team right now. If they want to run, like obviously some Carson Edwards or Javonte Graham, people like that can start. Also, shout out Javonte Graham, repping Radford University. But so that's really about it. So if Jeff Teague starts, he's going to be one of the better values on the slate. If he does not start, I don't really care about this game. It's another game that I'm just like everyone's priced fine. Like.
Yep. Tatum's too expensive.
Too expensive. Tough matchup for Chicago. Tatum's too expensive. Coming back, and now he sucks usage away from the rest of the Boston team. Like, hey, cool. I don't really care. It's a really good matchup for like Tice and stuff like that. But, dude, Tristan Thompson's been bad since he's come back. So like, I don't want that either. Like, yeah, it's just this game's another write-off for me.
I don't mind Markkanen at 6,500. It's still pretty cheap for him.
Yeah, without Wendell Carter Jr., he's fine. Had a bad game against the Lakers. Who would have guessed that? Oh, I would have. But like the other game's been doing pretty good. Like Charlotte 28.5. It's just because he had no peripherals. Shot 17 times. You know. Yeah. Then he's been in the 30s, 40s. Had a 14 game against Washington, and he only played 19 minutes. Maybe that was the first game back. I have no idea.
I think it was.
And no, it wasn't. It was the last game before he went out. But no idea about what happened with that. But then, like, before that, he was doing really good. So, yeah, 6,500 is not bad. It's the last piece of something. Fine, go with it. But
what about Gafford? We talked about him earlier. Potential value.
Yeah, this is a tough matchup for him. Well, it's not even potential. If he starts, again, like, he's played 18 and 19 minutes the last 2 times. Like, the Lakers are a really tough matchup. I mean, he had 4 fouls. So, again, it's one of your center spots, though, on DraftKings. On FanDuel, he's power forward, so you can do it. But I feel like we got the golden lucky buzzer with him against Charlotte where he got 19.5, and I just don't think he's going to, even if he does that and you don't play him, it's not like you're dead. You know, if he got 30 and he was chalk, like he was chalk the other slate, that's why I was like, I thought he was going to be lower owned, and I was like, look, we gotta get on this. This is a good matchup. Yeah. This isn't a good matchup. Like Tyson Thompson, like regardless of what you want to think, Thompson's a decent defensive center, and Tice definitely is. So this is another matchup that I don't really want to target with Gafford.
Okay, cool. I think we can move on. I don't really like anything else from this game.
Nope.
All right, next up we've got Spurs taking on the Pelicans. Pelicans favored by 3. Over under is 223. What do you like from this game?
The best price is Brandon Ingram at 8K and Lonzo at 58. Obviously you can always play Zion at below 8K is fine. I knew I didn't freaking like DeMar DeRozan and still played him on DraftKings. I was afraid of the chalk last night. It just wasn't a game that I didn't think he'd be like very much involved in. He got 5 fouls. I didn't expect him to get 5 fouls, but I just he shot 7 times. Definitely because of foul trouble, but like I just don't like playing DeMar DeRozan too much. If like we played him earlier in the season when he's in the 6Ks because that's just too cheap. When he's up here at like 77, 76, stuff like that, like yeah, it's a good matchup, but it's still DeMar DeRozan. If it gets you 40, cool. I was just afraid of the chalk and a good matchup, but I should have known better. I don't really care much about the San Antonio side. Like DeJounte Murray at 6,500 on DraftKings is like
he is balling,
pretty
bro.
good. So okay, we got to take into context his quote unquote balling. Like he had a triple double last game of 11, 10, 11. That's what he does. If you're not getting the triple double, then it's just like okay. This is a back to back off of a game where he missed or like he went out with an ankle injury. I don't know how severe it is. They always have been careful with him. Since even before he tore his ACL, they were careful with him. He's never played big minutes. Pop loves running a fucking gambit of guards out there. So on a back-to-back, like fine, play some DeJounte Murray and GPPs, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, he's priced up at 76.
Lonzo's a good defender. Lonzo's a good defender, so like it's just not for me.
Gotcha. And then we have to also take in consideration DDR had 5 fouls yesterday, so he got a little bit more run.
I mean, he's only played 31 minutes, so
yeah, got more peripherals than he would have.
Oh exactly. Yeah, he got a lot of floor time without DeRozan, so.
Yeah, Zion and Ingram are popping for the optimal Roto Grinders guys, I'm sure.
That's fine. I mean, Ingram's they're both fine plays,
on FanDuel. It's a pretty good price.
Who, what, when, where?
Ingram, 7,700.
Yeah, it's fine. That's a really good play.
Yeah,
really good price.
It. You like anything else here?
Nope.
All right. Cool.
The last 2 games are the best games on the slate.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. All right, we've got Timberwolves going against the Warriors. Warriors favored 9.5. Never thought I'd see that. Over under is 226.
Yeah. So the Warriors, again, like I've said on other podcasts, are actually decent this year. Surprise, surprise. Curry at 9,200 is a really good price tag on DraftKings against Minnesota, who cannot stop a nosebleed from point guards or from anywhere for that matter of fact. And then the Warriors can't stop much shit either. So this game, what's the total on it?
Total's 226.
Yeah, I see 227. So it may be going up. Which is surprising without DeLon Wright. But yeah, I mean these last 2 games are 2 of the higher totals on the slate. I really like Curry. I don't mind Beasley. The one play that I really like, and it almost kind of starts pulling me off of Curry just a little bit, it definitely pulls me off. The only 2 Warriors I want are Curry and Wiggins. I really like Wiggins, and this is a revenge thing. Like he's not played Minnesota. He hasn't played against Minnesota in Minnesota or outside. This is obviously Golden State. This is a game that Wiggins can just go nuclear in, and Golden State would totally let him. This is a game that Golden State should win, and as long as Wiggins is shooting well, he could have a really good game. The dude needs 32 for value, and I can easily see him getting that. He's been around that or flirted with it every single game. And last game they got blown out. He had 29.25. New York, they didn't play the last like 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, so at 33. He only played 31 minutes against San Antonio in a blowout, got you 32. The Lakers, foul trouble. He played 32. And then before that, he was playing mid-30s and like in some of their closer games and getting you 33, 46, and then 26 against Denver. So he's been flirting around with that value line. I really like Wiggins. He may be a last piece for me. I don't know yet. Just kind of depends on how the slate shakes out. But I like Wiggins. On the other side, Ricky Rubio at 5,100 got 28 minutes last game. Got you 28. Florida with triple-double upside. He can do that. This is not a back-to-back for them. He was limited to 24, 28 minutes on a back-to-back after coming back from COVID after playing 15. Then he played 28. With no D'Angelo Russell tonight, I can see him getting like 32, which would be... No, he played 34 one time earlier in the season. I was going to say would be his highest mark of the season, but I can see him doing that. I also so I don't mind him. I don't mind Anthony Edwards at 4,400. I liked him last time too. New Orleans, 1 minute. Sorry to cough. Don't mind him. This is, I called everyone that played him a fish against Orlando because, oh wait, D'Angelo Russell's freaking playing. When they're eventually going to get this kid more minutes, and this could be a time to get him more minutes as well. So I don't mind him. He showed some scoring upside last time. Don't mind Vanderbilt. Golden State still can't guard centers, which he's playing more power forward, but still. And that's about it. You could take GPP shots on Nasri, but he's 6,100. Like, again, he can get there. We've seen him have big upside, but not for me in cash.
He's popping an optimal at center.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Nasri is popping.
On FanDuel or DraftKings?
FanDuel.
What's he on FanDuel? Like, what
5K.
price? 5K. That's completely different. Yeah, okay, fine. That's completely different. Yeah, FanDuel, fine. Don't play him on DraftKings.
Hey, question. I want to touch back on Wiggins really quick. So obviously this is a little bit of a revenge narrative here. I was eyeing his points before we came on the podcast because I like looking at points totals and different things. He's 17.5 points.
Yeah.
Or his points, rebounds, assists are over 26.5 for plus 100. Which would you prefer?
Yeah, I would prefer the points, rebounds, assists. He gets peripherals.
I think he goes. I think you're right. I think he goes nuclear.
Yeah, the 17.5 is a little bit stout for me. I think he can. I think he probably gets there tonight.
Probably.
I was hoping that his points, rebounds, assists would be closer to 30. So I would feel comfortable betting anything up to 28.5 or so.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got a free bet on DraftKings, so I'm locking that shit in.
I just really think that this is all speculation. Like, he hasn't really been there this season. I think if any game they're gonna let him go a little bit, it'll be tonight. He's shown 17, shot upside throughout earlier in the season in close games. This is a game where I'm like, even if the Warriors are ahead, he could get like a few extra minutes running with the second unit. It's just like, we'll just have to see. Again, this is purely more of a GPP thing. I really like it. For cash, he's a fine price tag on both sites. But for me, for tournaments, if I was building 150, I'd be over the field on Wiggins.
Yeah, I like it. I just locked in my $100 free
double
bet.
a field on him.
I like
Nice.
it.
Well, okay.
I think that's good shit. So I just locked it in over 26.5 points, rebounds, assists on Wiggins. What do you think about Draymond tonight on FanDuel? He's 4,900. He's popping a little bit.
Yeah, he's a decent price on both sites. He's 52 on DraftKings.
What's wrong with him this season, man? Is he just not good anymore?
He's never been really good when when it used to be Curry, Durant, and Draymond, and then Durant went out with his Achilles, and you still had then Clay went down like immediately. So Draymond's only good when it's just Draymond. If he can act as the point guard without Curry on the field, then he's like this triple-double threat with but I don't really. With Wiggins and Oubre also shooting the ball and Curry shooting the ball and Wiseman being a decent rebounding center because he's 7 feet tall, like, I don't really care that much about Draymond. Can he get you a ton of points each night? Yeah. But if any matchup is good, again, if we don't get any other value and we have to play Draymond, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping for other value.
Gotcha.
If no other value happens, he's probably a good cash play, but I'm hoping for other value.
All right, cool. We can move on. Let's take one more question here. AD Hall wants to know, why is the line on Boston moved so drastically from -8 now to -4? Why do you think that is? Is there injury news?
So you're sure that it opened at -8? Because I haven't looked at opening lineups.
I didn't look at it either. So I guess.
We've known Kemba and Peyton Pritchard are going to be out. We've known Wendell Carter for the Bulls is going to be out. unless Vegas suspects Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart to sit,
they would know more than us then.
They wouldn't know more than us. Let me see.
Do you really think they sit with Tatum just coming back?
I mean, I thought it would be like -7. So if it opened that way, then people just may have thought, oh, we should Chicago can get these points without Kemba and with Tatum being potentially on a minutes limit. People may have just bet hard. I'd be betting it back up the other direction now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good bet.
I don't even know where to look. I don't do a lot of hardcore sports betting, so I don't even know where to look for that opening lineup at.
Yeah. So. All right. Let's move on.
Bagwell, Mills for value. Yeah, you can play some Patty Mills. That's fine.
Let's move on to the last game. Got the Thunder taking on the Blazers.
Trying to get, but yeah.
Blazers
Yep.
favored 5.5, and the over/under is 224.5.
Yep. So back to back for the Blazers. OKC hasn't played in a little bit, a couple days, I think.
Yep.
Oh wait.
We played Roby. What was that? Saturday? Wait. It was Saturday. No.
OKC played last night. See, I don't even remember. Did they play yesterday sometime? I guess they did.
They play early.
So it's 124. Hey, both teams are on a back-to-back. They may have been one of the non-main slate games. Oh yeah, they played the Clippers in the middle of the day. That's right.
Yep.
So never mind. Both teams are on a back-to-back. So Lillard at 10.3 obviously is still a good play. He's their entire offense. If I'm gonna paying 10K for some of the day, it's probably gonna be Lillard. I really like Shea. Who plays defense on the Blazers? Oh, that's correct. Everyone is correct. No one does. So yeah, this is a good matchup for Shea. I always like him against teams that don't play defense. Teams that do play defense, I don't think he's that good overall. So I don't like playing him in those. But this matchup's good. Besides that, I don't mind Baisley on both sides. He's kind of getting down where he has upside again. 47 on FanDuel's really good. This dude flashed. Oh, I didn't even flash, but for a month was this stellar play last year. Was getting you 30 and 40 every single game with people out. And now he's kind of taking a back seat to Dort and Diallo to a certain extent and just kind of hanging around. But eventually, at the beginning of this year, he was shooting 20 times a game. Now he shot 7 and 8 over his last two, also against the Clippers. But
who was that again?
Baisley.
Yeah, gotcha.
This is a dude that they like for their future. He hustles. He goes after the ball. So eventually he's going to start shooting more. He's going to be connecting more shots. He's going to have a good game eventually. And this could be it. Notoriously, Portland's been bad against forwards. Covington definitely has helped. They're still a bad defense. This is totally more FanDuel is more cashy at 4,700. He's probably going to be a little bit popular. Draftkings is a little more GPP, 5,300. But I don't mind Baisley. I don't mind going back to Rodney Hood. Only on Draftkings.
Do we have Horford back, or is he still out?
Who? What?
Horford.
No, Horford's still out as far as I know. They haven't, as far as I know, he's still out. No, I haven't said anything. He has a Q next to his name, but he's still with his child, and they have no idea when he's going to be back.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, Dame's popping. He's probably going to be the highest owned point guard.
For stud, yeah. Well, on FanDuel he's 9,700. Yeah, he's a really good play.
Yeah.
But also just remember that Portland's still not a bad team and should have won more handedly last night. OKC's still a bad team, and Dame may not play 40 minutes tonight like he's been. May play more 36 to 38, which I know is still a lot. But when we're talking about Dame is still I always hate when Dame gets up to these prices because at the end of the day, he's not a 1.5 plus fantasy point per minute person. Giannis is closer to 2, but Harden and Durant and people like that. Yeah, I have him at 1.34 for this season. But dating back, if you go with last season, he's 1.3 overall. So he has to have a lot of minutes to get to these 50, 60 point games. And if I think he's going to get 36 minutes instead of 38 to 40, it's tougher to think about getting to him. But he is the best 10K plus person on this slate just because of pure opportunity, and it's a good matchup. Like his shot volume is just gonna be there every single time.
What do you think about
Dame
Hood
is a chalk,
again?
but I don't mind eating that chalk. Yeah, me neither, Jonas.
Yeah, I like him. If you had to pick Dame or Kyrie today, would you go Dame? Or would you play Steph? Dame's gonna be chalk.
I'd go Dame on FanDuel for sure. Draftkings, if I could get to it, obviously I'd still play Dame. I always would like Dame. I mean, that's on DraftKings it changes your entire lineup construction. On FanDuel, it's a little bit different. Like you could go to either one and either leave 300 on the table or be even. So it changes everything on DraftKings.
Gotcha. All right. You got anything else from this game?
For sure, it's Dame over Kyrie. Huh?
You got anything from this game? Melo's still 4,100.
On FanDuel, yeah, that's a good play.
Yeah. Gary Trent's still 3,600. I don't know how good he's been doing.
Nope.
Not been doing anything.
GPP fine. Go ahead and have some, but no for cash.
Who's a better long-term player, Lou Dort or Bazley, in your opinion?
Bazley.
Why is that?
I mean, Lou Dort was there last year. Lou Dort has had flashes at the beginning of this season, then sucked, then had like 2 games where he got like a ton of steals and blocks and sucked. Like Bazley has sustained success last year and had success starting this season, and then now it's kind of just taking a back roll. Eventually, he's going to get back. I just think long term, Bazley's the better player. He's a better offensive player. Dort may be better on the defensive end, but for offense, it's Bazley. And overall, defensive stats only get you so far in DFS, and even season long.
Yeah, I noticed he just gets a lot of steals and threes.
Bazley's the one Bazley's the one that can score 30 points in a game. I don't think Dort's going to have that.
Gotcha. All right, let's get some questions in.
Like if Shea was to ever be out, Dort would be my favorite play. It wouldn't be close.
Just because they need the scoring upside.
He would take on a huge offensive role at that point.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we'll give him a few. We'll give him a few minutes.
Anyone got any questions at all?
I just put that in the chat, so we'll wait and see if we got any questions. We pretty much covered a lot. I mean, it didn't actually take us that long for 10 games. I like this format a lot better personally. That's just me. We don't have to mention
if anyone has, or if anyone makes their own lineups, which I really hope you guys do, you guys should. There's one game tonight you would look to game.
I know what my answer is.
Who would it be? It'd be Minnesota and Golden State.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
And then if you can afford it, if you can get all the pieces, if there's really good value, it's either Minnesota and Golden State, or it's the Nets and the Heat.
Yeah. I mean but that's not gonna be a hot take there. That's the highest total on the slate. So if you wanted to get sneaky, if I had to pick a game, man, it might be Boston for me to get sneaky. You got some cheap plays in the Bulls, yeah, but the Boston guys are priced up. You'll definitely be different on your lineup construction.
For me, if I was getting sneaky, stack, it would be Denver and Dallas, and then if Embiid's out, it'd be Philly and Detroit.
Yeah, I'm probably with you on the Denver-Dallas one. That's sneaky. It's a super close game. Who's more likely to score a triple-double tonight, Jokic or Doncic? If you had to bet, because there's a free bet boost on FanDuel. It's probably Luka.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, cool. All right, we don't have any questions, man. I think we're good. Thanks for coming on and breaking down these 10 games, and hopefully we'll get some news and some value, and we'll crush again. 24-6 on the year. I don't know anybody else that's doing that out here.
24-7. 24-7 with 2 doubles.
Yep. 24-7. So we're doing it this season, man. Let's keep it going.
Yep. 21-12 on DK. Sorry, I haven't been updating that, but I have it all tracked on a spreadsheet. So
yeah, for sure. All right, we're out of here, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.